Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. It's time for sketch number 4 from the September's 2023 Creative Memories virtual crop. I am going to be working with our Autumn Harvest collection. Many of you have voted on my community tab, so we're going to see some things that have been voted on. And this is going to be my last sketch for today. And then I should be back tomorrow afternoon, evening ish. We have a house guest coming, so I have some food I need to prepare and a few other things to prep. So let's get to the sketch so I can show you what we're going to be doing. Here we go. All right. Put away my scissors. I was busy before I got on getting things prepped. So this is our sketch, and you know what? I forgot to put on my mat. So I'm going to add those real quick so that way when I go to show you up close, you'll know what we've got. I have 2 4 1/4 by 6 1/2. And then I have 1 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch mat. There we go. Okay, I feel better now, and this way I can hold it up closer so that way if somebody wants to screenshot it, all of the measurements will be here for you. And so what attracted me to this sketch was I noticed this piece running through here. I noticed this here matched these two things here. And I knew I was going to use Autumn Harvest, and I knew I wanted to use the Pumpkin Patch frame punch. And so how is this different from our border punch that I used in sketch number 3? Well, let me tell you. A frame punch, as it shows in the picture, can go all the way around and create a frame on one of your scrapbook pages or other 2-inch diameter piece of paper. So bear in mind your punch box is 2 inches on this. So when you cut your paper, you need 12 by 12, 4 by 4, 6 by 6 when you're going to do a frame. So, and that is this silver line on your punch. Here, if you can see, that's where you're going to line up your papers either side of the punch box. When you're doing a border, you go to the black line inside. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of both. So with our river waves, you can see this one is just a border punch. I use this one in sketch 3, and you can see the picture on the box shows simply a border. The frame punches can do both the frames and the borders. So I am going to show you really quick here a sample that I did with the frame punch first, using this punch. And I took my pictures off just because I don't always want to share some of those. My family members don't necessarily want to be on camera, even though I don't mind. I just want to protect their privacy that they want protected. So with this one, I used our orange shimmer paper. It was a 12 by 12 sheet. I went all the way around and I created a frame on this layout using our Autumn Harvest collection. And you can see how cute is that. And then when I put my pictures, I put one going up this way. Here, in fact, I can probably just show you how my pictures went. Just real quick. Well, this one went underneath. This is a little big for this one, but that's okay. And then one going this way. So you can see how the photos would go on to this page here. And I would go a little bit smaller. This is a 4 by 6 mat, and this is a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. With my photos, I did trim them down just a little bit, and I didn't even mat them. I just put them directly on to the shimmer paper used a border sticker going behind my half mat I put up here, and I used some of the punched out pieces from the orange shimmer to decorate my little journal box here. So there you go. Giving you a bonus idea for sketch number 4 if you want to go that route, but I decided to go a bit linear, and I used a sheet of our hot fudge cardstock and one sheet of paper. This is the one with the yellow on the back, and then our kind of our golden pumpkins on the front. And I miscalculated, we'll put it that way, when I did my initial measurements. And so I made the correction on my sheet that I showed you. This piece is 1.5 inches by 12 inches. You do need to punch first before you cut out these two, because otherwise it's really kind of tight when you go to punch. So just bear in mind, punch first, then cut on this side. And then on this side, I cut an 8-inch piece by 12 inches. And I feel like it's a little bit wide. It's taking over a lot of the page. If I had done 7 inches, you figure it would be in an extra 1/2 inch here, and it would be in an extra 1/2 inch here. You would get more of this brown interest, repeating the wood tone mats that I picked, and then your photos are just going to pop all that much more. The wood tone paper has the little acorns on the back of it. So I did make the correction on my measurement sheet that I put up for you. If you want to have yours fill the page the way you see mine, then cut it at 8 inches. That's one of those things. It's not set in stone. I don't even know what the original measurements are on the sketches anymore. I usually just don't even look. If you want an interpretation of that, you can follow the link in the description box to the Creative Memories blog and see what that looks like compared to mine. I usually try to give you an extra idea of something that you might not think of when looking at the sketch, because I wouldn't be Creative Pages if I didn't do any creative pages for you. All right, so this one is directly up against the side here. And actually, I think I just reversed that and I like it better. So we're going to do that. And that's okay. You know, sometimes it just kind of happens as I'm putting these together. And yeah, it is what it is. I don't know if I'm still tired from last night or what. My first one this morning, I felt like, oh my goodness, is it too early? And now I can't even use the too early excuse. But that's all right. So long as we get the pages done and I help you all with some ideas, that's my goal. And I love that you all have voted so much on my community tab on YouTube this month. It was so nice to get just some extra direction of what you wanted to see. And that's why I'm talking so much about the different punches, because it looked like there were a lot of votes from people who wanted to see all the punches and everything different about the punches. So I explain a little bit about the border maker in our very first sketch. And here you've learned about our border punches and our frame punches now as well. I'm just placing these pieces that I've cut onto our page. And here we go. This one is a 2-inch strip. It's actually, I think, the only thing I did follow from the sketch. Looks a little crooked, but I think it's okay. Oh, it's not crooked at all. Okay. Good deal. All right. So now when I cut my mats, I did cut 4 4.25 by 6.25 mats from one sheet of paper, just to help save that paper. I do have shown this in other videos. If you would like me to show it again, please leave me a comment and I will be happy to do another live stream showing it. It's just a really handy technique to know and to have for putting together your pages. This one I wanted a little bit lower than the other one, so this one's kind of going here first. You want to make sure that it's running up. So we have some lines that are going to run sideways and some that are going to run up and down. The pumpkin paper is directional, so bear that in mind when you go to do your punching. I did want people to actually be able to see the punches, and originally I did want all of my wood tone to be running up and down, but that just isn't possible when you cut the 4 of them from the same sheet because I did want the slightly larger mats. So these 2 are here. And now, if you've had an eagle eye, you probably have noticed that I have my foam tape sitting out and over here. That's because we're going to use a little bit of foam tape. And I keep it on the packaging because it makes it A, easy for me to find, and B, remember that, hey, that is my foam tape. It's on the package. But I also had in the votes, people wanted to learn about a lot of the pockets. Well, I've pulled out a sticker and I measured the sticker. The sticker is 1¼ inches. And then I pulled out one of my memorabilia pockets. And this is one of the little ones. When you purchase our memorabilia pockets, you get a variety pack of sizes, and this is the smallest size in the pack. And so when I measured this, it was right around 3/4 inch. And you can see where I'm going to cover up where the little, I guess, envelope fold goes down from our pocket. You can see it kind of has this diagonal feature to it. But the other thing is I'm also going to add just a little bit of foam tape. I'm going to cut it at 3/4 inch, just under an inch, I think. Between 3/4 and an inch, as close as I can get on here without cutting my fingernail off here. Goodness. So I've got a line below the 2 is where I went to here. And I want to put this inside our pocket because if you can see, I put in some of our little pieces that I collected when I was punching our frame punch. So now I have that little strip of foam inside my pocket. And the reason I'm doing this is to help give it some extra space for our little pieces to move around in our pocket once we have it sealed up and closed. So if you've been watching my channel in the last couple weeks or so, I've done a couple of shaker cards. One of them I used a peekaboo pocket and one I used a memorabilia pocket. And I've noticed that the memorabilia pocket is a little bit tighter. It's a little more flat on the page. And I wish I had put a little bit of foam behind this paper seam here just to give it a little bit of lift and to help my reindeer move a little bit easier in my card. You can see it moves. I've lost the head of my reindeer. There we go. But I just kind of wanted it to be a little bit free flowing, a little bit easier, kind of like my little bats and spider or bats and stars that are in this other one in the peekaboo pocket. So if you want to see those are on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. The bat and star card is a video, and the seasonal sighting one with the reindeer is under the live stream tab. So I've learned a lot about shakers in the last couple weeks or so here. I'm going to pull the tab from behind my foam. And I mean, it does leave just a little bit of a seam here, but since we're folding this down and covering it, I don't think our little pieces are going to be able to slip out. It's big enough to prevent the pumpkins from coming out and the little floral pieces. So that is all sealed, and it does look like, see, there we go. We have them moving already. I did take a dryer sheet and even just kind of rubbed it around inside here because that's what helps them to move around a little bit easier. And it's going to add just a little bit of interest and a little extra component to our page. I'm going to put it up here. I think I want to have that whole pumpkin showing. So this it just sticks. The pockets come with a sticky backing. You don't even have to get out your tape runners or anything for those. They are self-sticking, which is nice. And now our sticker that I mentioned before, I'm going to grab a couple of half foam squares because with the foam tape is the same height as our foam squares. I'm going to grab my scissors, which are on my foam tape. Go figure. I have one that's in half, but I need a second piece, so I'm just going to cut another one in half on a diagonal. Put my scissors back where I automatically look for them. So we're going to put one half up here under this leaf. And I'm going to cut off that little bit of extra that's hanging over using my same microtip scissors because they have that coating on them, and you can basically cut stickers, foam squares, whatever all day. And yeah, I can see that, just that little bit sticking through, and I don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and cut it off real quick here. I can grab it without cutting the sticker. There we go. Ah, yes. Okay, so took care of that and put my pull off the backs. And then we are going to place this over our foam tape there. It's going to overlap just a little bit. We want our sticker to be on our page. And then the foam squares that we put up under our stem is what's going to keep it at the same level as what's on our pocket. That's giving our pocket that extra little bit of movement. Whoops. My foam squares out of the way. And there you go. We have another page done. You can see those are moving just a little bit in there. It's still a little bit tight, but it's better, I think, than what the other one was. And you can see both sides of the page, and they're moving around in there. I mean, nobody's going to come along and really start shaking your scrapbook a whole lot, but it does give a lot of just really interesting effect to your page. If you also want, if you're doing pictures from like a pumpkin patch, and I don't know, it's hard for people to have really actual tickets anymore, but you could add the little ticket from that. Or say your kid lost a tooth, you can put the tooth in there. I don't know. I was never one that saved the teeth when my kids lost them, but you know, it's my son did bite into an apple. Lost a tooth one time. So it's definitely one of those stories that we tell, but I don't think I would put it on a page, even in a memorabilia pocket. So whatever you would want to add, you can add. If you don't want to use this little pocket, you just want to put a sticker or some other title. I did pull out a mat that matched this one nicely, so you can easily, instead of putting these two pieces, you can easily use our F. Scott Fitzgerald quote, "Life starts all over again when it gets crisp in the fall," and just trim this one down here and here, and just do that one instead. But that is my interpretation of sketch number 4 that came out for our September virtual crop here. I hope you all enjoyed seeing this one. Leave me a thumbs up, and I hope I've been able to share and maybe teach you a little thing or two along the way about our punches and our products. So I will see you all again tomorrow. Leave me a comment if you have any questions, or if you want to see how to cut the formats from the single sheet of paper. Until next time.